Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Cooking for Critters with Clarissa and William. William's actually at my feet right now, hoping that I make something for him. But today we're going to focus on some frozen dog treats. It's going to be a super simple recipe for you to follow. Also great if you have children in the kitchen with you to make because there's nothing hot. There's no burner, there's no oven on. We're just going to take some ingredients, mix them up together, shape them, put them in the freezer, and about 4 hours later we have some frozen dog treats. You can also use these treats with donkeys or goats if you happen to have them around and they like these kind of sweeter snacks. It would be perfect for them. So today what we're going to do is, like I said, very simple, 4 ingredients. We'll talk about some substitutions as well. We're going to use half a cup of yogurt. I'm using Greek yogurt today. It's a little bit drier in consistency, and our critters seem to like that a little bit more. So we're just putting that into a bowl, an empty bowl, using a rubber spatula for that. So that's half a cup of yogurt. We're also going to use half a cup of peanut butter. Try to get all natural, of course. We look for peanut butter that has 2 ingredients, basically, peanuts and salt. We want to keep it super simple, super healthy for our critters. So that's another half a cup of that. You're getting the simplicity here. Everything is the same measurement. This is also super helpful, not only for your memory, half a cup, half a cup, half a cup, half a cup, but it's also good if you want to ration up the recipe or make it a little bit lower. So you could use a 1/4 cup of everything. You could use a full cup of everything, depending on the size of the critter and how much you want to store in your freezer after. So again, we're using half a cup, trying to keep it super simple. We also have half a cup of applesauce that we're going to put in here. And again, this is basic apples and water. We're not looking for any cinnamon or any sugar added to this. So half a cup of applesauce. You can even use homemade applesauce. We're getting ready to go into apple season here in New England. And so if you happen to have a bunch of leftover apples, you can always make your own applesauce. It's very easy to do and it makes the house smell delicious. So, think about that as well as you're thinking about cooking for yourself. What kind of ingredients can you also bring into your pets' lives to kind of give them a little bit of enrichment, something a little bit different? The last thing we have here is half a cup of oats. I use rolled oats for when we're cooking, but also for our critters. So again, half a cup. And that's going to go right in that bowl. And it's a simple recipe. It's a small bowl. You can see everything in here. We're just going to give that a really good mix. And as I'm mixing this, I'll tell you that I happen to use old egg holders from the refrigerator, and I line them with a cling film, and then I fill the egg holes up with this batch of goodies, and I let it freeze in there. If you happen to have ice cube trays that you're not using, you can use ice cube trays. You can also use other types of freezable containers, depending on the size of the critter that's going to be enjoying these snacks that you're making for them today. You can use something very small like an ice cube tray, or you can use something very large like a plastic storage container. I happen to have one here, and what I would do with this is I would put a plastic storage bag inside and then fill it up with a bunch of water mixed in with this ingredient. So it kind of gives a diluted flavor to it. Any frozen treats are really good in here. So you freeze it and then you can tip it over, give it a few whacks, and then the bag will fall out, and then you can pull the big block of frozen treat from there. That's really great if you have livestock that you're going to give this to, or a larger dog breed like an Irish Wolfhound or a Great Dane or St. Bernard or a Newfie. They probably really enjoy that. You might want to do that outside because that's going to make a big wet mess on your floor. Okay, so we have this all mixed in here, and I'll show you what I did with the egg tray. So you can see it's just lined with the saran wrap, little depressions in here in each of the dips. And what I'm going to do right now is just take a teaspoon of it and pop it in there You can do that for each of them. You don't have to be precise with the size here. So you don't have to measure it out exactly per divot, but you could if you wanted to. I don't really get that picky with the critters. If you've seen the episodes before, you know I have a tendency to say that our critters are the best people to cook for because they don't really get all that picky when it comes to treats, especially our critters around here. They are big foodies, and so they appreciate and eat almost everything that we make. You can also use a cookie scoop if you want, and you can just plop that onto a cookie tray and put the whole tray in the freezer. I usually have a lot more stuff in my freezer, not a lot of room for a cookie tray. So I don't usually do that. I try to keep it very small and manageable. It's almost like small batch dog treats, if you will. So fill that up. You may have extras, and you can put that into a baggie, a Ziploc baggie, and put that in your freezer. Or you can just, like I'm doing right now, just making them really big, an extra special treat for the critters. So we have that. You can then just cover it up a little bit, slide it into the freezer, let that sit for about 4 hours or overnight. I'll show you some quick variations that we do as well. Instead of the applesauce, you can use pumpkin in this, and you can also use mashed bananas. So that's really good. If your critter likes to have the pumpkin, that's a great choice. You can also, like I said, bananas, you can use crunched up apples if you want to dice them and put them in so it gives it a little chunkier flavor. You can do that. Cranberries, as well as blueberries would be good. So again, you want to check with your veterinarian if there's anything that your dog or critter doesn't typically eat. You may not want to introduce that. The thing that I love with cooking for our critters here is that we're using a lot of the food that they already eat anyway. So we don't have to worry about allergies or the gastrointestinal challenges when you're introducing a new food to their diet. So we like to keep it simple. We like to keep it tasty here. One way that we try to keep Skipper's treats interesting and a little bit different is we make them with a variety. So these are the plain ones that we just made together that you watched me make. Here I added some of his dry kibble to the top of it. You can also add dry kibble inside if you want. And then here we made a little popsicle. I know you've heard that phrase a lot. It still makes me chuckle. So we're just going to pull it off of the saran wrap. And then here you have it. You have a applesauce, yogurt, peanut butter, rolled oat popsicle with a bone in there. And he'll enjoy those on any hot day throughout the early fall, late summer, but also it's a special treat, and we all deserve special treats in our lives, and we deserve to give them back to the critters in our lives that make us happy and take a lot of our stress away. So thank you for joining me for another episode of Cooking for Critters with Clarissa. As always, reach out if you have any questions, any comments, want to talk with me about your pets and any unique dietary needs that they might have for their treats. I'm happy to be a resource for you at any point. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks again. Bye.